Hello, beautiful people. So, going on from yesterday about limiting beliefs, that I am not enough is a limiting belief, and why is it important to change it, and where do they come from is what I'm going to cover today. So limiting beliefs are, is a problem that all of us face. We don't even realize we have beliefs. Beliefs are, the be all and end all to our actions. We have there is a knock-on effect, or whatever, there's a kind of chain of events, right? You have a belief about something, and that belief literally keeps you in a box for you. It makes you think in a certain way, feel in a certain way. You have an attitude to life and self and others in that, with regards to that belief, and your actions are all within the box of that belief, right? So people don't quite realize this is the journey that I went through as my healing journey, to this belief that I had of not being enough. And I'm going to just kind of share with you a little bit about how I chased those beliefs, those limiting beliefs, for a majority of my life, until I realized that I was chasing those beliefs. So, and we don't have to chase those beliefs anymore. We can just identify them before we actually go through that process of chasing them, right? So I'm just being vulnerable and honest here. All my videos are live. I don't do any editing because I want to try and develop the skill of being, vulnerable, authentic. I truly believe that that's our gifts to society and others, service to others, which is, my passion and purpose in this life. To help others overcome their chronic pain in any way that I can, the mind-body chronic pain, right? So what I wanted to share with you today is that we are conditioned in the ages of 0 to 7. So conditioning starts from 0 to 7, and because we are in a kind of low, slightly lower vibration in our brains. The children's brain is in a theta wavelength, so it's kind of a semi-hypnotic and kind of, like a sponge. It just takes up anything, in any piece of information, any pieces of information, or any beliefs that the parents have about certain thing. It just absorbs it. It doesn't have a filter to say yes or no, of course, at that age, right? It's an open, vessel, let's say, and these go into the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind is, the housing of our programming. So this is vital for us to understand, that we are functioning 95% of the time with our subconscious mind, and the majority of the time, the subconscious minds are old programming. Unless we are actively upgrading them, they're old programming from our peers and parents and role models at that time. So I'll just give you an example. And then we go through life chasing these, or trying to prove and overcome this lack of worth or lack of self-worth. And this, creates such an intense environment internally of not enoughness, and this inadequacy and not feeling, and it's all to do with lack, and it's all false. It's a false belief. It's a limiting belief that we chase the rest of our lives. So I'm hoping that this will give you some kind of insights for you to understand, how to actually avoid this and start to, pick apart those limiting beliefs that we have, the boxes of limiting beliefs that we live by, and to, overcome them with less hardship, right? So I had a limiting belief. I'll just give you a brief story. I have to go and pick up my daughter, but I'm just going to give you a brief story. How I had a very, limiting belief that I was stupid. It was conditioned into me. My father was dyslexic. In the school there was, I was kind of like the stupid one. The other school kids were reflecting that back to me all the time, and I believed this until chased and this belief, this limiting belief and false belief that I was stupid, the majority of my adult life, I mean, majority of my life, I went to university trying to prove that I wasn't stupid. I came to Greece and I did a master's in Greek and a PhD in Greek. And I, in a research and development in an institute. And I was totally unaware that I was actually chasing this false belief until I got to the point where I'd done my PhD, I defended my PhD, I had 4, first author publications in peer-reviewed journals, and still I wasn't feeling enough. I still wasn't feeling, and this is when the chronic pain hit hard, and, all these messages and all these, through life were kind of trying to help me overcome these beliefs, but I wasn't ready yet the calling, or I wasn't ready for the giving up of this belief. And I got to the point where I didn't even print out my PhD. I don't have a printout of my PhD. And it just hit me so hard that, this is in our life, we're chasing these false beliefs, and yet we don't need to do that. We can actually just override them. So that's what I kind of wanted to bring up here. Limiting beliefs are false, and they they affect our whole perception of the world, right? So we live within our limiting beliefs. We cannot not live with our limiting beliefs. And so upgrading them, starting to question them, to actually ask that, is this something that's serving me now, right? And you can go through all categories of your life. It's something that I did during 2019, during my introspection and, searching for what it is I need in order to heal internally, right? And I can highly recommend this awesome book from Vishen Likiani from Mind Valley, The Code of Extraordinary Minds, where he goes into the deep, he goes into this aspects very deeply about the bullshit rules, or what he calls brules, of the culturescape. And this is really, really important, because every culture has their rules, all of their bullshit rules that they live by, that are no longer kind of needed to be are no longer serving people, right? So unless you're kind of really going, searching through this, people don't, obviously, most people don't actually, go through this process. So not enoughness, or chronic low worth, or inadequacy is another limiting belief that we can start to look at the deep, the core beliefs that you are embodying, because your chronic pain is a catalyst showing you what these beliefs are, right? So we're using now the chronic pain, or the symptoms, as the catalyst to start to learn to identify these chronic limiting beliefs, right? And we can start to upgrade them, or put in new ones. And you don't need to go chasing your traumas and getting to the roots of them. In fact, life shows us exactly what we're thinking and feeling and believing through our daily life, right? So chronic pain and symptoms are a fantastic way to have as a lesson, as a teacher, to actually get to the core beliefs that you're holding, like I'm the stupid one, or I'm not enough, or the inadequacy, or not feeling of that you're worth anything. So all of these are very, I just want to share that with you today, about the rules and the conditioning and the limiting beliefs, that we are literally living 95% of our lives on limiting beliefs that have been put into us without actually having any sieve or filter to whether that's true or not. And it wasn't obviously true in my case, that I was stupid, but spending the rest of, majority of my life to prove that I'm not stupid, spent a lot of my energy and a lot of my time. So getting to your core beliefs, which is the perfect way you can do that, is by checking in with your body. So what I mean by that is start to understand. I'm going to go into this more tomorrow about understanding your emotions and that they are a guidance system, internal guidance system. And these emotions that are coming up can give us great insight into our core limiting beliefs. So I'm going to go into that tomorrow, so bear with me, and start to just when you're starting to do check-ins with your body emotionally. So what am I feeling, or what am I believing? So though in any situation, what am I believing, or what am I feeling, and what am I believing? And you can start to unpick and detangle all of these kind of limiting beliefs, the boxes of limiting beliefs that we live by. So with that, I'm going to love you and leave you. And I hope this was helpful. If you need any more help with this, please reach out to me. And I'll be back on here tomorrow to explain a little bit more about this and how it works. Love to all.